Our Keenan Willard now continues our breaking news coverage with video from inside the dinner after the gunshots were heard and the response tonight from the president. Keenan.
Well, it's been a strong response and hard to put into words just how shocking all of this is. One of the most prominent events in Washington, D.C. Information still pouring in with this breaking situation tonight. Investigators saying they believe that suspected shooter from Southern California was working alone, but his motives are still unclear at this hour. And tonight the president is speaking for the first time about what he went through when shots were fired.
One of the most high-profile nights in Washington thrown into chaos. Gunshots at the White House Correspondents Dinner forcing the president to be evacuated. Reporters in tuxedos and ball gowns taking cover under their tables.
This is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill.
President Trump shared this video of the moment a man rushed through the security checkpoint outside the event. Officers drawing their weapons as he runs past. D.C. police say they believe the man shot at officers. He was taken into custody. President Trump sharing these pictures of the man on the ground.
Tonight they had everything covered very quickly. And he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him.
Federal officials tell NBC4 the suspect is 31-year-old Cole Allen from Torrance, and he had a shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives on him. Federal investigators say his motives were unclear, but they believe he acted alone.
The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There's federal law enforcement already working on search warrants.
The Secret Service says one agent was shot at close range but is not facing life-threatening injuries. The president tonight sharing what went through his mind when he heard the gunshots.
It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully.
Long way to go in this investigation. Now, the White House Correspondents Dinner was called off after that shooting. The president, though, says it will be rescheduled and take place within the next month. Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.
NBC4's Keenan Willard joining us live outside the home where we know, Keenan, this is still a shock to neighbors there.
Obviously, none of them expecting their neighborhood here in Torrance, historically a quiet one with not much going on, to become the center of national news, the biggest story in the country here, and all connected to this home where we have been since learning about Cole Allen's connections to Southern California in the hours after that White House Correspondents Dinner shooting situation. There's been a lot of activity out here, law enforcement, people coming out to just see what in the world is going on with this investigation. Totally unexpected for this quiet community. Now, investigators say last night Allen rushed the security checkpoint at the White House Correspondents Dinner. He had multiple guns on him, according to investigators. Today, we've seen the FBI going door to door here on Gramercy Avenue in Torrance, talking to neighbors about whether they know Cole Allen and his family.
They come by and ask questions if I knew him, and I'm like, no, I seen him once, and that was probably about it. Everybody says it don't happen in your neighborhood, but it happens in everybody's neighborhood. It's going to happen no matter where you're at.
Our Keenan Willard joining us live now in front of his home tonight in Torrance with more on the writings detectives say he sent to his family just minutes before the attack. Keenan.
Yeah, Jonathan, it's already been one day, but still a lot of information coming out, specifically circling around the house here in Southern California at the center of this federal investigation and some of the writings that you just spoke about. This whole thing has come as obviously a shock to this quiet Torrance neighborhood, never expecting to be at the epicenter of a national story like this. And tonight, experts are breaking down what some of the suspect's own words reveal about his motives. New details about the writings a senior White House official tells NBC4 Cole Allen left behind. In those messages, Allen says he can no longer allow a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to represent him as an American. He identifies his targets, saying he was after Trump administration officials prioritized from highest to lowest, but not FBI Director Kash Patel. Allen also says he would go through most everyone in attendance to get to his targets.
It wasn't just a political statement. It was an apology to people who knew him. It was looking at who he's targeting and why.
Sources tell NBC4 Allen's brother contacted police in Connecticut about the suspect after the shooting, and his sister told the Secret Service and police in Maryland that he had a tendency to make radical statements.
That's why we say if a coworker or a family member speaks about mass violence that's targeted, or any kind of violence for that matter, if you see something, say something.
It's just so unreal to know that this is right here down the street.
For many living in this Torrance neighborhood, it's still hard to believe. The FBI flooding their street after investigators say a neighbor tried to attack some of the most powerful people in the country.
Yeah, they come by and ask questions if I knew him, and I'm like, no, I seen him once, and that was probably about it. Everybody says it don't happen in your neighborhood, but it happens in everybody's neighborhood. It's going to happen no matter where you're at.
Some left wondering just how close they came to a suspected shooter.
Not knowing if we could have passed him in the, in the grocery store or something.
Now, federal investigators have said that they believe Allen acted alone last night, but they're also drawing connections between him and a left-leaning political activist group called the Wide Awakes. Online in their materials, the Wide Awakes describe themselves as a nonviolent movement to create a new culture in pursuit of liberation of mind, body, and spirit. In Torrance, Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.